this is another one of those moments where it's like, where were you when NHL came to Utah?
You're listening to the UTalk Hockey Podcast with your hosts Champ and Denz. Yo, 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 what is going on? It is the UTalk Hockey Show. Champ and Denz.
That was just my excitement of
what the heck is even that?
getting the fact that we're still off of the high energy from last night's game, but we're not going to dive into that now. So
no, not right now.
Just I've been anticipating doing the recording all day because the season has officially started, and it's so fun to. It
has been as good as we expected, if not better.
If not better.
If you've experienced anything with the first home opener, first regular season game, you know what we know. It was super exciting.
That's what I was trying to do.
Leading up to the game, the atmosphere, the plays, the final score, just epic. The chirps.
We'll get in.
Oh man, we could probably spend like an hour and a half, 2 hours just reading chirps all day.
We won't. Though.
We're not going to, but you'd probably like that. But to start our episode, everybody, if you don't know, and you should know by now if you've been following us, we are, Denz specifically, is giving away a Calgary Flames versus Utah Hockey Club game set of tickets where we usually sit on October 30th. Denz, how do they get it done?
You probably already know, but if you're tuning in and you become a new subscriber, all you have to do is share the love of one of our episodes and follow us on social.
So just share an episode. We have YouTube. Go follow our channel, UTalk Hockey. We have Spotify episodes. We have iTunes episodes, really wherever you get podcasts. So our show is on YouTube and podcasts. So go check out those channels. Yeah, even on Facebook. If you share what is posted on our channels, specifically with episode content, then you're entered automatically to win. And when will the winner be announced, Denz?
Next episode.
So subscribe, follow, make sure you're checking in on the newest episode because it comes out about every Wednesday, Thursday each week. That's about our cadence of releasing new episodes. So we will share who the winner is, and then we will directly reach out to that individual via direct message on social. So,
yep.
There's also a change to our show that we decided was necessary. It may make some people
put in
sad.
Like a drum roll.
No, it's more like right? It's a dying segment.
Kind of. So
go ahead.
Anyways, we've been doing off the post usually to start our segments. Here's the reason why we are nixing it. Because we want to start our episodes with our most popular segment, which is what we'll get into.
Okay.
You about blew it.
I about blew it.
That's not the point.
mean, it's going to happen anyway next. So am I really blowing it?
We're just going to start participating a lot more actively on social for when news drops. Because sometimes we're recapping things that most of our audience actually already knows.
You probably already know most of the things in Off the Post.
Yeah.
So we decided we were just going to cut that part of the show and get to the nitty gritty, which is the fun debates, which is the chirps, which is the detail about the players, the history behind the club, all of that stuff. And so that's what we want to maintain as the main element of the show. And, of course, always highlighting a puck of the week. And we're going to continue to do that because there's a contest going right now as well that you'll receive some tickets at the end of the season potentially. So you gotta keep listening. But Off the Post is leaving the show for now. Maybe it'll come back in a different format or fashion. But as it stands right now, we no longer will be doing Off the Post.
We might bring something up that literally hit the news in the moment that we're recording or right before it. But as an official segment, He's gone.
See you later. So let's dive into our new first segment, which is already a segment that we've done before, but is a fan favorite because it brings a heated debate, and we're starting with it. It gets the blood boiling right away.
I mean, maybe we should
Really
duke it out.
one of the,
Yeah.
anyway.
No, I meant the hockey version.
Oh, yeah. Grab and go. Drop
We're
the
not
gloves.
like
You know what? Nothing like Dursey getting punched in the face last night and then blood gushing out of his eye. That was crazy.
Dripping.
You're right. It was dripping. It wasn't gushing. I'm sorry. It was like
This is not a graphic show.
wink. All right, let's dive into our first segment, which will now be our starting segment of episodes moving forward. Face Off Frenzy. Face Off Frenzy.
Boy, do we got a good one.
Boy, we got a good one for you today. Thanks, Steve Harvey. So, Face Off Frenzy. What we want to talk about today in the episode does involve the first game of Utah Hockey Club's history, right? Okay. Game against the Blackhawks. Again, like the events leading up. We got there around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We got on ESPN. Go check it out. It was during the Blues versus
his son was
my son was holding a sign that said ESPN, and the sign said, with the acronym ESPN, establishing Salt Lake City's place in the NHL. And they were
clever.
Just eating it up, right? And of course, my son, he's 10 years old, and they're like, let's get that guy. He got a picture with PK. PK signed it. Even the person that works with PK reached out to us and said, hey, here's a picture. Great experience for my son. But overall, the experience before the game was so awesome. Shabuzi, boy. First, you know what? I'm going to chirp for a second. The gal who was announcing while we were waiting for the players, I don't remember her name. I think she's redheaded.
Yeah.
You know the lady who was doing all the intermission games and everything at the game. Boy, every 5 minutes, she ensured us that we would be hearing from Shabuzi.
Right after the players did their walkthrough.
Every couple players, and they're like, don't worry, we're going to hear from Shabuzi. And I think most people there were like, who cares? There were about probably 300 or 400 people that wanted to hear Shabuzi. And they were over by the stage. But anybody by the players, lady, I'm telling you, that's why we were there.
Hold on. I mean, it was for everyone there, but like you had people, literally hundreds of people arriving like every minute.
Yes.
So if they hadn't heard the announcement before,
don't side with them.
I'm just saying.
How many times did I have to hear Shabuzi will be playing at around 5:30, and then 5:30 rolls around? Don't worry, folks. Shabuzi will play. I was like,
it was like 45 minutes later.
I get that. Anyway,
it was
Shabuzi was good,
and he was redundant as well.
Boy, yeah, he played 3 or 4 songs, but then he played his most famous one, the Tipsy Bar song,
3 or 4 times.
And he's like, "Let's play it again. Let's play it again." You know who was in the crowd? Dwayne Wade, his wife Gabby. But Gary Bettman was in there, just old man, just Shabuzi.
So. Face Off Frenzy.
Oh, yeah, dude, right. Face Off Frenzy.
This guy.
Dude, you know me. I like to tangent. But the Face Off Frenzy, okay, the whole point I was getting to, though, is the leading up to the game, it was awesome, right? It was a great experience. Ryan Smith and the crew, they made it an experience. Like, one for the history books, for sure. So we get to the game, and the game is won, and we're going to talk more about the game later in the episode, but the game is won.
Okay.
And during the game, the energy was electric. Absolutely just loud, proud Utah fans.
Like a playoff crowd.
A playoff crowd, right?
Like
huge
we were competing
level
for the cup is what it
sounded
like.
Dude, it felt like it, right? Yeah. Now, here's the face-off frenzy question, Denz.
Let's go.
They won 5-2, right? And there were some amazing shots. There were some moments, though, that were scary. but that crowd was going when they needed him most.
Dylan Gunther.
He even mentioned, Dylan Gunther mentioned.
The crowd was the 6th player on the ice.
Which was so cool to hear, right? If you were there and you heard you're the 6th player, come on.
Yeah, at the very end of the game when he came out for the stars of the show.
As I think about that, though, how does that make Connor feel? he's the 6th man.
Well,
there's 5 skaters on the ice.
But he's the goalie.
I get it.
We
knew
got
what
the
you
message.
meant, Dylan. But anyway, here's the face-off frenzy question. So did the crowd in Utah give the team an extra boost, or would Utah Hockey Club have pulled off the win regardless against the Chicago Blackhawks? We got to remember that it was the Chicago Blackhawks. So that's the face-off frenzy. Did the crowd,
was
did
it
you
just
as
luck?
fans, right?
Because, or not luck, but
no, was the crowd a factor in that game for them to win? Or would they have won if it was just crickets the whole game? I think that's how you got to paint the picture. Okay. Because if there was no crowd, let's say it was.
So we're saying,
it was D-League hockey in Provo.
But is the Utah Hockey Club talented enough? Did their talent show? Would they have won regardless?
Right.
Gotcha. Versus the crowd.
So that's the face-off frenzy debate question. And we want to hear what your thoughts are, but we're going to see what Denz has to say first.
Oh.
Unless you want me to go first.
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so here's what I think. Let me paint you a picture, actually, Denz. All right? In high school, and I'm going back, dude. I'm 35 now, so I'm going back a long time. 15 years. No, 17 years.
Okay.
Is that really how long it's been? Holy crap.
Dude, you're getting old.
2008. I got most spirited in my high school. I was voted most spirited.
I thought you said no spirit.
No, that was you. No.
Probably. If any of my high school people are watching, I was probably a quiet person.
Anyway, I was voted most spirited. Go figure, right? I have some energy,
yeah.
right? At every sporting event that I wasn't playing in, so I played football. Hockey wasn't in my area of the state of Montana, unfortunately, so I didn't even get to grow up playing hockey because it wasn't in my city, in my town. It was a town, village. But no, it was a town. But I played football, so I didn't cheer during football, but basketball season, volleyball, whatever involved a crowd, I was front row, screaming my guts out, being the face of the fans. And in my honest opinion, because of our crowd, even in that high school event, we went to state, divisionals and state frequently. And I would dare say it was partly because of the fans. So my response to this question is absolutely, I believe they won because they had fans behind them. When you and I have played even in a D-League, or it was rookie league because we haven't won in D-League. That's sad. When we were in the rookie league and we were winning and we would go to a championship game and we even had fans show up, how great did it feel when we scored a goal?
I mean, it feels amazing.
It feels amazing, and it fuels you to push harder. It fuels you to give them something to cheer for.
Okay. I will agree with you, in the sense,
agree.
I agree. But I'm gonna say that even in a dead silent arena, the way the team played last night was very skillful. And all of the improvements in the offseason showed. There was synergy. So I would say I'm going to go with the route, yes, that can contribute. But we got to remember, the Blackhawks were the second worst team in the NHL last year.
Yeah. But the question is, could they do it? Regardless of Blackhawks skill, right? Does their skill alone help them beat the Blackhawks in that game?
In last night's game, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I I think they would have won regardless. We'll get to some more game analyzation later in addition with Denz, but yeah, they would have won regardless. I think the energy does contribute, but I think skill showed last night.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you there too. For the record, if we remember in the last episode, in Rapid Fire Roundup, I said they would beat the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
So I'm 1-for-1 in the regular season. Hey-oh. But I said they would win, and that I didn't know that the fans would be that loud. Right? Like the preseason game, it was pretty loud.
It was a whole level
dude,
last
it was
night.
a whole nother level. The towels, the screaming, even the chants after the goal horn, which we need to learn, right?
Ugh.
And all we have is "Let's Go Utah." It bugs the crap out of me.
And a lot of people are chipping.
We
We need to find something.
Here's
new.
what we need. We need someone to teach us the chants that we will use in game moving forward.
Yeah.
Someone has to
The
own
MC.
that. Yes. But it seems like we wouldn't do it during, like, the MC doesn't help it along during the game.
Right, it needs to be like a social post.
Yes. Hey, Utah Hockey Club fans.
Here's the chance.
Here's the chance we're going to do. This is what it sounds like, and here's when we want you to do it. That education, I think, is necessary.
Especially for the newer portion of the audience to hockey.
Yes. So, anyway, we'll talk more about the atmosphere in the game later on in the show. But tell us what you think. Face-Off Frenzy's question, did the crowd in Utah give the team an extra boost, an edge?
Meaning they won because of that, or they would have won.
Would they
because of
have
their skill?
pulled off the win regardless? I think that crowd fueled it because it was 2-3 with just a few minutes left.
We'll get into game analyzation
I'm just
later.
saying. So I think it was the crowd. I think your skill, or you thought it was skill. I think they're both valid points. Tell us what you think in the comments.
It wasn't a very heated debate today.
It wasn't a heated debate, but it's a debate nonetheless.
All right.
I mean, we aren't agreeing on the same thing, so
Sure.
it's a debate. So we need to know what you think. We don't have to be like Trump and Kamala or whatever,
Yeah.
I didn't get handed $6 million baby formula, okay? I've been trying to perfect her voice. I'm trying to get there. Anyway, we're going to move on to the Puck of the Week.
It's time to announce the Puck of the Week.
And this Puck of the Week
Goes to...
Hold on, we got a show.
Oh, dude.
So I had to get it. There you
Sorry, dude.
go. Whatever.
There it is. Is it working?
There you
it
go.
is. Yeah.
It's a collector's item. I had to get
Dude,
it.
so cool.
And so real quick. So the team store is out front. They're selling. Everything's ridiculously expensive. My wife's
Welcome to the
hoodie was
NHL.
$140.
Yeesh.
Anyways, and they don't list the prices. I knew it was going to be expensive, but that one was like a little like.
Excuse me, how much?
Well, and then I was like, I want one of those pucks, and then it was like again. However,
But this is history.
this is history, and my merch, season ticket holder discount
Of course.
applied. And on top of that, I also got an additional 15% by being in the Amex card holder.
This guy just getting discounts left and right.
I was like, at that point, it felt better to burn that kind of money.
That's right. Well, Puck of the Week is actually going to someone who has been nominated before, Denz. Yes, which means that this individual, we're going to share it right now, the nominee for Puck of the Week and entering you to win another entry into the drawing for the later season tickets goes to Tim Kaiser, a.k.a. Tim A. Remember him?
Yeah, we did him like 3 or 4 episodes
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. You all should follow what Tim is doing.
Us?
No, them. listeners out there, this is what Tim had to say. Been here since the pilot episode. UTalk is the best. Thanks, guys. Tim, we salute you. Thanks for listening since the beginning. Again, if you want to look back at something silly, go to episode 1 and see how things have changed.
Yeah.
For the better. But Tim Kaiser, a.k.a. Tim A., you get the puck of the week. Sorry, you don't get the actual puck. That's Denz's.
That's the collector's item.
But that does give you another entry. That means you have 2, my friend, which is increasing your odds because the way we're going, there should only be, again, it's roulette odds. It should be about 36. 35,
32.
36, something like that, where you got a 1 in that 30-ish chance, unless you're getting more. So comment.
You just doubled your odds.
You just doubled the odds, which is great odds. You want those odds. All right, that's Puck of the Week. Short and sweet. We got to dive into the next segment because, man, do we
so
got
much
some
going on.
chirps that we got to get off of our backs.
And you know what? What I love about this segment is it's fun to pull them in because, sure, people are scrolling, but, like, it's also giving all of y'all a taste of what's happening on social who doesn't want to get involved.
Doesn't want to get involved at all, but guess what? Champ and Denz are going to get you in the thick of it.
Collectively.
Whether you like it or not.
We'll consolidate it all for you.
Dude, social's free reign. You put it out there, it's for the public to see.
We're going to go after some
people. If you
tonight.
don't want to be chirped in our show, don't chirp, all right? Because we will chirp you, and we're going to let you hear it. All right, let's do it. Chirping with Champ.
Chirping with Champ.
Chirping with Champ and Denz, really, Denz, because let's be honest.
I'm getting more involved. But this is
honestly,
your lead.
dude, I've taught Denz everything he knows. The student has become the master. He chirps more than I do. He runs social most of the time, and this guy's over here like,
hey, you go.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, dude, I should get more into the chirps with Denz, but he's over here responding. He's got one. Anyway, we'll talk about it.
We'll get into it.
All right. The first one, actually, before I get to the one that I had outlined first, let's talk about the game a little bit, right? And what people were chirping about. Denz, what are some things that people have chirped about the location and or the environment of the game as of recent? Just in general. What would...
The seating.
Okay, seating.
Obstructed
absolutely. Views. Obstructed views. That is the butt of this one chirp. Now, Benjamin, Riley Millerberg, he's a top contributor in one of the groups we're in. He does it gracefully. He doesn't chirp hard, but he still chirps. He says, are any of my upper bowl brothers, which actually the picture he takes, we're upper bowl brothers. Are any of my upper bowl brothers also disappointed with their seats? I bought full season tickets in section 111, row 8, which is not listed as partial ice view, but most definitely is partial ice view. I can barely see the top of the glass nearest to me, and when the players are up against the board, you can't see them at all. I understood going in, the Delta Center was going to not be perfect for hockey, but why would these seats not be listed as partial ice view? Now, I wanted to read this chirp because I do feel that you and I are sitting literally
opposite side of the
arena,
view.
but just a few rows up.
Yeah.
Right? What are your thoughts on this? How do you feel about it? Because you did buy season tickets.
Sight unseen.
Sight unseen. You just bought them.
Benjamin, I am going to actually side with you. Now, I'm kind of in the same boat. I get it. I was understanding, but like, I was actually surprised that, and they told all of us to come check out the seats, come in person. Some of us couldn't. I was hours away, and I barely got cell service for my phone call. So, and I knew that going in. I'm going to buy them sight unseen, and I'm hopeful that it's better. But there was other chirping online related to this about how Utah hockey fans need to learn hockey etiquette and not lean forward.
Yes.
Well, the whole upper bowl has to lean forward.
It's true. Unfortunately, it is true.
So, and I get it. Like, it's not ideal. It's not perfect. But as long as everyone's doing it, everyone leans forward. We all understand. We honestly have, my guess would be 3, maybe 4 feet is all. Of the lip of the edge
unseen
of the upper bowl. Well, I meant that just needs to be demolished and cut, and you would have perfect sight lines because it's just that lip of the upper bowl on the entire ring, right? So we'll get into renovations here in a second.
Yeah. But to that point, Tyler Riggs even did comment saying, let's not do this leaning forward stuff all game, okay? I knew Utah fans were going to have a problem and believe they were above hockey etiquette. Can see it already in the replies.
That is not the reason why.
Dude, we can't see in some areas there, Tyler, so we're
making
forward.
It work.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. A completely sold out crowd.
Dude, and it was epic.
Wanted to be there regardless. I bought season tickets regardless.
And I'm so glad he did.
So it's Benjamin, I'm with you. Kind of wish they would have disclosed that a little bit more. I don't know if it would have changed anything. But yeah, you can barely see the top of the glass nearest to you, even on the sides. It really is the only unobstructed views are the lower bowl. But we'll talk about how they're fixing it in more detail. But it just kind of tired of hearing it. Everyone knows it's changing. We still had an incredible hockey game. Yes, the fight with Jersey that went to go defend our captain. Couldn't really see it that well. I was looking up at the Jumbotron to see what was going on.
It's true. So there's elements. Regarding the leaning comment and not having etiquette, obviously we'll become more etiquette when we have full sight lines, Tyler. All right, so cool your jets, Riggs. Come on. All right, let's move into one that you found, Denz.
Well, this was actually before the game. So the actual social handle for Utah Hockey Club, they posted, and it said, "One more sleep." And I also posted right about the same time on our channels, and I said, are any other Utah Hockey Club fans not going to be able to sleep tonight?
Struggling to sleep tonight? Game tomorrow?
It's like Christmas Eve.
Hockey Eve, dude.
Yeah. And it literally, like, that's how excited I was. And anyway, so I also commented on their post, and I said, totally in agreement. And then we had JV.
Dude, what a noob.
Handle Just Vibes.
More like junior varsity, idiot.
Get on here. And he replies to me and the Utah Hockey Club. He says, enjoy it while it lasts because you won't be that excited when Utah inevitably gets crushed by Bedard and co. tomorrow night.
Oh, my gosh.
Here's the thing.
He's the reason that
this wasn't the Florida Panthers that he was like representing coming in.
Oh, my gosh.
This is the second worst team in the NHL last year.
Which is a chirp in and of itself to assume that the Utah Hockey Club is on the same level as the dang Blackhawks, dude.
And we weren't because Coyotes were better.
Arr!
So, Just Vibes. I just wanted the scoreboard to say what happened. So I held off. And then as soon as we won.
Oh, like literally in
the car driving home.
Yeah. Within minutes of getting in the vehicle.
My response to you, Just Vibes, and we don't chirp back usually online as much as we will on the show.
And we don't do it that fast.
And I just said, scoreboard.
Boom. Mic drop. Chirp, 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 chirp. Dude, JV.
Just
we
Vibes.
won. You can leave. You don't have to be here, okay?
Yeah. Bedard did not perform.
Oh, dude. But we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about the game.
We'll talk about the game.
Moving on.
Moving on. We'll talk next chirp. We'll talk about it. It's so funny. It is so funny. Okay, next one.
Hans
Olsen.
Hans Olsen.
That's what it is.
I know.
So Hans Olsen, he's obviously a sports analyst. on 97.5 or not, no 97.5. Does talk radio. He does the Cougars color commentary. He does a lot of sports stuff. And he commented, and this is one you found as well, Den. So what did Hans Olsen had to say?
Oh yeah, this one was great. I don't mean to like make Arizona feel even worse, but sometimes it's just too funny. So
Sometimes it's too easy.
It's too easy. He said, "Hey Arizona." Oh well, hold on. The video that was posted was by BR Open Ice, and it was
right.
Of the entire arena going electric last
Just
night.
going nuts, towels, screaming. Just,
I mean,
the whole arena
it's
is
just
literally
the proof,
shaking.
sellout crowd, the proof that we show up for our teams and like we're worthy of taking over for the Arizona Coyotes.
Yes.
Anyways, so that was the post. He retweets it and he says, "Hey Arizona, let us know when you're done with your NFL and your MLB teams. We'd like those too."
We'd like those two. Oh, man. I mean, knife twist.
Yeah.
Right? Diamondbacks are the MLB team, and then you have the Cardinals. Boy, can you imagine if any of those teams relocated to Utah? Arizona would disown Utah as a state and any association to itself.
You know what? We are going to dig a hole
That's
deep
right.
to the core of the
There
earth,
is-
so we are not part of the four corners.
Dude, I was gonna say there's a slight border of Utah and Arizona.
It's called the four corners:
Oh,
Colorado,
man.
Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico.
Dude, for a second we're like, geography is hard.
I just had a brain fart
Dude, is
But-
it New Mexico? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
because you cross through four
I
corners
know,
to
dude.
go have your worst nightmare in New Mexico.
Oh, dude, Albuquerque.
He was
Or-
scared for his family's lives.
Dude, Albuquerque,
Such a
man.
rundown.
Good thing there's not much in Albuquerque or in New Mexico in general. Rough place. At
Anyways.
least when I drove through there. I'm sure it's nice to some of the fans that might be listening who are from New Mexico. If you are.
Sure.
If you are, I don't know why you're listening. Thanks for listening.
Anyways, next chirp.
All right, next chirp. So, actually, before I get into some of the mushy stuff, there's a couple mushy things.
Oh, okay.
But one final thing, and then let's talk about the Delta Center estimated renovation schedule.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
we're
one
like taking
one
a
more
pause,
thing.
kind of.
Yeah. One more thing about the game that was chirped about, and it was a lot. There was a lot of chirps about this. Even we recognized it during the game. We couldn't see a penalty clock for a time. We said, "Where's the penalty clock?"
I'm constantly looking
We were.
around for stats for
There's
not
not-
necessarily stats, but
But there is there's a level of things that obviously they need to figure out. One of them is the size of the play clock, sorry, not the play clock, the penalty clock.
yeah.
Because we eventually found it, and where it was on the person's name that on the board, even though the video board
Now,
is
I'll
huge.
admit the concept was kind of cool.
Right, you're like, okay, there's the player.
So they have on the video board, they had every person on the ice listed out their name and number. So that was kind of cool. And then it would have this,
Little clock beside it.
like a
clock.
countdown, like a progress bar, almost like counting down to when the penalty ran out over their name. It was a little difficult
Yeah.
to make it.
So one of the chirps, I actually didn't grab the name of the person who posted this, but all they said was penalty clock, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, and then said WTH, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan Smith is the guy running the system. No, dude, he's a billionaire. He does not do that crap. He hired someone else to do it. So chirp at the guy or girl who was supposed to make the graphic
back
bigger for the
office.
clock. It's not Ryan's fault. Anyway, Sam Clemens chirps back and says, people in this group can't go 5 seconds without crying about something. I'm with you
saw
there,
that.
Sam.
So funny.
For real.
It's true, though.
But then Chance is like, and this is just somebody else, and then says, and it's always Ryan's fault somehow. Ryan doesn't do it all, folks.
Sam
he hires
Clemens.
people.
Sam Clemens and Chancel, we are with you.
Yes, for real. But then Troy Hollingsworth comes in and says, "True, but we do need a penalty clock." And we said, even Sam was like, "I know, but it's the first game." And then eventually people found it. It was like, "Where's Waldo?" Like, "Oh, dude, there it is. It's right there."
It was that way.
So anyway, there was a clock. It was very small. I'm sure they're going to hear it, and they're going to make differences. It was the first game, so, I think we can give them some slack.
They've done a lot in the 5.5 months.
We'll talk about the intro in the game.
Yeah.
Not right now, but man, that was epic. Okay, hey, dude. Okay, so everyone's chirping about the stadium or the arena and the seats.
And you know what? We just got to get used to it. As fans that don't care, we just got to get used to it. That everyone who has an opinion wants to make that known.
Absolutely, and we're gonna make your opinions known on this show. Thanks for following and listening. But what I thought was super important to share, because
we haven't shared this before.
And it is a show of information and knowledge. So as we learn, we want you to learn too. So Denz, walk us through the Delta Center's estimated renovation schedule.
Yeah, so this was published. We're going to share it here. I'll probably throw it up on the screen as I'm talking about it. This is just insightful. So people are aware, and those of us that are season ticket holders also just aware of hey, your tickets might be demolished.
Yeah, by the way.
So anyways, we won't talk. Well, let's talk about first what the off season was in the first 5.5 months of
and
this
what's
year.
Still happening.
Yeah,
it's still 2024. So what's supposed to be or expected in 2024?
Yeah. So first off was just the design, the plans of the changes, the locker room for the team,
which looks
dope. Equipment, right? Got to get it all up and running. I mean, yes, they had stuff for Frozen Fury. That happened once a year, but some of that stuff was borrowed and or old.
Yep.
Or
they bought new nets with the camera gear inside of it. They had to get the boards, right?
Yeah.
They got the boards from the Olympic Oval, I believe.
Oh, did they?
I believe so.
I didn't know that. But they had to actually buy even additional seating for when things were scaled back to fill even those gaps down on the floor. And then honestly for this next off season, they've done a lot of foundational work that we can't really see from visual standpoint, but is going to make the 6-month off season next year for 2025 be the first major addition or renovation.
But Denz, if I can't see it, then it's not real.
Guess not. Anyways,
but you gotta have faith.
So
you gotta have. Okay,
let's go to the first one. So from off season next year, which is actually interesting. I just had this thought. Say they make the playoffs. This is going to affect.
No. When they make
the playoffs,
this will affect
this plan, which is interesting
and cool at the same time.
Yeah,
I hope this plan is pushed out by 3 months because of the playoffs.
6 weeks, but
well, you know what I mean.
But yeah, that just means that each off season, the Utah Hockey Club has to work their butts off. Anyways.
Tails off.
So, anyways, this is going to take a minute to get through. If we take this long to go through each
That's
one.
Okay, dude. People want to know.
April 25th to October 25th, estimated timeline. I'm going to challenge that. It'll be end of June because we will be making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a good challenge.
So they're going to demolish and rebuild the seating bowl structure on the north end of the arena. So north end, what side is that?
North end was the side that they did not skate out from. Remember when they did the intro part?
Okay, yeah. So what they're going to do, so it's one of the retractable ends. I guess it doesn't matter if it's north or south. It's one of the retractable ends. That's where the biggest unobstructed views are.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to demolish and rebuild the seating bowl structure on the north end. They're also going to do the foundational work on that side. They're going to put in new retractable and fixed seating on the north end. They're also going to construct premium north end like box offices. So They're redoing all of like the suites and stuff, so all of that will be done, and they're going to construct new marshalling addition on the south end. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to happen in just a few short months. But in one off season, they're going to add, what is that, maybe 3,000 unobstructed seats now?
Dude.
Like,
which obviously everybody needs. Relax.
We'll get to it. I kind of hope they also we'll get to it. Anyways, so that's 2025 to 2026 off season, or excuse me, 2024 to 2025 off season. Then we move into the next year. This is between October 2025 and April 2026. So actually,
they're making a parking garage, dude.
Well, I just realized this is happening during the season next year.
It is. Again, a parking garage is happening during season 2.
Yeah.
Which is super valuable. Parking's a nightmare right now. Most people park at a mall, right? Which actually, if you park at the gateway, you get free parking because they just let you out. You might get stuck in there for a minute, but they usually just leave you for free, which is actually awesome. But the parking garage makes a lot of sense.
It does. And they have quite the space on the corner of the lot to build that.
Make that happen.
And then, so that's kind of the biggest one. They're going to be finishing up stuff from phase 1. They'll also start a lot of exterior stuff with the plans to rebuild. They're going to take over the street on the east side of the arena, center the entrance. So a lot of that stuff's going to happen as well. It will be interesting how that might affect during season experience.
Right. What happens if your section is being renovated?
Yeah. Well, if that's what the plan, I doubt they would sell tickets.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting. And then from the second, so this is second off season, 2026, April 2026 to October 2026, they're going to demolish and rebuild the seating bowl structure on the south end. They're going to complete all the interior work of phase 1 exterior expansion locations. And they're going to put in the new retractable and fixed seating on the south end, just like they had done in the previous. So really, in the next 2 off seasons, I would say most of the obstructed views are going to be solved.
Obviously, that's priority number 1. Make sure people can see the ice better.
Yeah. Also,
but it won't happen at the snap of your fingers, right? So it takes time. And guess what? Ryan Smith isn't the one doing the construction. So if it goes slow, don't blame Ryan Smith.
I mean, everything comes up to the head of the snake, sure. But
Sure. But come on. Ryan's not there hitting with the jackhammer. He's hired somebody.
Yeah. So during the third season, they're going to be completing construction of that new and premium amenity space. They're going to finish the shell work of the exterior of phase 2 of the expansion on the exterior. And the last one, this is kind of where this will be interesting, of where it kind of all comes together. But between April 2027 to October 2027, they're going to construct a new ice floor. So they're going to save that for last. They're going to install, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, they're going to install new LED center hung and ribbon displays. They're going to complete all NBA and NHL team reconstruction. And they're going to complete the final expansion and remaining concourse and premium amenity interior fit out. So all of this amazing stuff will be done in 3 years from now, according to the schedule.
2027. They're setting goals. They've made plans. Now they're going to start executing.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
That is obviously subject to change, but there you go. If you were curious what's going to happen, that's what they're going to do.
I think this plays into one of the... It's not a chirp. I mean, it's Tamara Leigh Kelly chirping at other people to share this thought. And I think this is a perfect segue into this comment. She says this, and I agree with you, Tamari. Ryan Smith could have invested his money on anything in the world he wanted. But instead, he buys and brings Utah their very own hockey team. He successfully made it so that thousands of people could enjoy a new sport or a sport they've loved for decades but had to travel to other states to witness. The complaints of penalty box clock, the horn when we score not being loud enough, obstructed views is shocking. We took our kids to the game tonight, and as much as we love the Minnesota Wild, we have a new team we fell in love with. The fans made it so much fun, and SEG did a phenomenal job on everything else. I hope every person in this group gets the opportunity to go. Until then, this introduction was the best. Enjoy.
Tamari, I agree.
We agree with you. Just a couple more chirps. Hockeyfights.com shared. This is a tough look forever, Chicago. Blackhawks are the only team in the NHL history to lose a regulation game to UHC. NHL facts. What's funny, though, is the graphic that he made was just Blackhawks circling with a yes, but then every NHL team was circled as a no. But the Utah Hockey Club logo is in the circle of teams that didn't beat the Utah Hockey Club. So I'm going to chirp at you, Hockey Fights, even though it's funny. Make sure your content.
Is that kind of backwards, though, at the same time?
What do you mean?
So what it's saying is they're the only one to lose to us.
Yes.
So everyone else has beat us.
No, because they haven't played us.
Sure, but
that's the funny part. Come on, Denz, live a little. Okay. Last piece. So at the end of the game, Pat Maroon, number 77, was chirping hard, calling someone an explicit. You can Google it if you want. And inviting somebody on the ice back in the hallway to discuss it. This guy was so pissed off that he lost to the Utah Hockey Club. I think the Blackhawks obviously and were ready to beat the Utah Hockey Club. I think they were expecting it.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, with just a few minutes left, they were close to getting back. I mean, there was one off the post. It was close. But instead, we get that Dylan Gunther quick snap on a no goalie net, and then later on Lawson Krause with a little tap in from the top blue line shot. So it ends up being 5-2. Anyway, this guy is just chirping, and I mean, I like the passion. I like the energy that comes with hockey, and Maroon obviously had that passion. But it's game one in the regular season. There's 81 games left. And this guy's already just stating that, hey, I'm super pissed. Obviously, he was pissed off in some way. But it's funny because Maroon played 13 minutes, 27 seconds, and ended the night with a -1 rating and 3 giveaways. So he didn't contribute to his team very much. So if you're going to chirp, at least make sure that you have something to back up the chirp.
Yeah, calling something that was, in your mind, obviously something that should have been
right.
turned over.
Right. So anyway, that concludes Chirping with Champ. I was going to share a piece, but I think I'm going to share it for next episode because we got to give a little bit of time.
We've been just having too much fun.
We've been having too much Chirping with Champ and Denz, but let's actually dish it with Denz because this guy loves to facilitate on the ice. So let's dive into our final segment of the show. No, because
Rapid
Fire Roundup is coming up at the end. But this is the true ending segment, and then
That's a quick one.
It's
This
a
is
quick one.
Okay.
Dishing with Denz. Here we go.
Dishing with Denz.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the game. Now, we're not going to do a deep analyzation. That's not what our audience is probably looking for.
Because if you're listening, you probably were there.
Maybe, or there's other analysts out there that are going to do it justice compared to us.
Yes.
But I want to talk about just kind of going into the talent that showed up. The biggest changes, and there's articles on this that many people have the opinion piece of, the Utah Hockey Club made the largest change in the NHL in the offseason, which was acquiring Sergachev.
Right. But other key players.
Sure, I
but
just
yes.
mean like they're calling that like that was the biggest
the move.
Like craziest one across the entire NHL.
Yeah, did you see him play last night? He played
Yeah,
awesome.
so let's talk about defense.
Defense. Dude, I got a question for you,
Okay.
Denz. Before we even dive into it, I have a nephew. His name is Trey, and he argues, will take it to his dang grave, that defense wins championships. And I agree to an element, but without offense, you can't win. Without offense, you cannot win.
I think the debate is it's a team sport. You have to have both sides of the coin.
Right. Great point.
I can't argue that it's just offense.
But the phrase defense wins championships,
No.
because you have to have offense.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk defense.
Because
Let us know what you think.
real quick,
Does defense
hold on,
win
real quick.
championships?
No, because you can keep them from scoring, but if your offense can't score, then it's still 0-0.
Dude, D-League is a perfect example for us.
No, it's not a good
You're
example.
right. It's a terrible example. I'm going to rewind that. We suck.
We used to be good.
Well, that's because we were a rook. We were, what's the middle between rookie and D-League? That's what we are.
Something that Peaks doesn't offer.
Peaks
That's what
doesn't
it is.
offer it, but we're better than rookie because we were just beating everybody in that league, but we're not winning in D-League. But we're getting better.
Okay.
Every game's getting better.
So, defense in general,
Yep.
the protection, like we had a great, I don't have the stat in front of me, but we had a dominating amount of blocks
Yeah.
last night as defense. Like we got in the lanes and outside of defense. I mean, I guess you can consider the goalie a defender of the net, right? But like between Connor, which played an incredible game last night, we have a new hashtag nickname for Connor, and that is Utah's Great Wall.
Great Wall of Utah.
The Great
baby.
Wall of Utah.
Let's go.
Now, typically you earn the Great Wall title with a shutout, but he got close in the first two periods. But anyways, we're going through the game. Honestly, the first two periods, pretty solid periods. Yes, we had scores. We were up 2-0, 3-0 at one point. And the reality is that Utah was just on their game.
Mm-hmm.
And something actually shifted in the third period. And defense couldn't get the puck out of our zone
Yeah.
more often than not. So I don't know what it was from just being tired or, I mean, honestly, the Chicago Blackhawks, they just stepped it up. And they still couldn't deliver.
They were close a few times.
They got close. I meant, like, at the end of the night, they couldn't deliver. But they got up to 2-3, and they were playing better. Honestly, they were playing better. I feel like they dominated in the third period, which allowed them to come back up from being down 3 points to make it 2-3. And honestly, a pretty close battle during that time of not knowing it. It kind of all of a sudden turned into a nail biter, right, in the third period. So defense, I wasn't paying attention to necessary line changes. I don't know if they made any mid game. Kind of doubtful, but yeah, they had a moment of like their head was out of the game. Even though like it was electric, it just seemed like Utah Hockey Club was scrambling there for a while. Couldn't figure out.
Got a little sloppy at the end. Yeah, I wonder why that was. I'm not sure. We were there. I think you're right. I think obviously the Blackhawks just pushed a little bit harder because they knew they were down.
Yeah, and honestly, like the Blackhawks had 3 something off the posts shots, like matter of inches of making big changes, and that's the game, right? It's always a matter of inches on shots. But then all of a sudden, defense really started to pick it up towards the end of the game, and we had obviously the empty netter goal go in, which Just gotta say, Sergey.
So close, man. You almost gave Denz the W on his parlay.
Oh, so close. I mean, not that I betted a ton of money, but
all I needed was one more shot on goal from Sergachev and one from
Kraus, right?
Kraus. Yeah, it's close.
Anyways, Sergey, I was rooting for you. It's just so close. So I would have walked away with an insane amount of cash.
Not an insane amount.
$67.50.
So obviously Dylan Guenther was the highest shot on goal provider, but there were quite a few that actually had 3 shots on goal, which is, in my opinion, fairly good.
Well, let's talk about Guenther for a second because it's important. First goal in NHL history.
Trivia question.
Well, in the former episode, Champ and I were both
talking
about who was going to be. I voted it was going to be Keller.
Barrett Hayton.
They all scored.
They did all score. They just didn't score first.
Yeah.
It was Dylan.
So it was Dylan Guenther first. Then it was Captain Kraus. Then it was Hayton.
No, Captain Keller.
Sorry. We won't go into that.
We won't go into that.
Captain Keller and then Hayton.
And then Dylan got the freebie
and then
on the open net.
Yep.
And then Kraus got the tip in. Yep.
So, anyways, and you know what's interesting is there was a video on social. Keller actually predicted it would be Guenther.
Not also.
Or
he suggested. We didn't get it right. Keller got it right.
Captain must have known.
Dude, I'll be honest, though. The way that Dylan Guenther was shooting last night, if that is how he shoots in every game, he's going to be one high point mofo. You know what I mean? He's going to be good.
He is.
He's going to be great, dude. He got 5 shots on goal last night. Yeah. And if anybody wanted to know, a shot on goal when you actually score still counts as a shot on goal.
Yeah.
That was confirmed by Googling it.
And a shot on goal isn't missing the net.
No, it has to be in the area of the goal, Denz.
I know. But like
he was splitting hairs. He's like, was that a Sergachev shot on goal? I was like, no.
I just wanted it.
It was a foot wide.
I know.
Not a shot on goal.
I know. I was more interested in getting my $67 win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. You know what's another interesting fact is the assist that came. So Schmaltz had 2 assists and Logan Cooley had 2 assists. So
Logan Cooley almost scored. He
had 3 shots on goal.
One of his just
dude. So I mean, yeah, it's good to see that the puck is moving around on this team, which to your point, it's a team game. It's not defense doesn't win championships without an offensive presence, right? We wouldn't have won that game if Dylan Guenther didn't snipe that one. We wouldn't have won that game if Clayton Keller hadn't been in the right position. It was a 3-way pass. It was boom, boom, shot.
Yeah.
And boy, was that an easy one, right?
Yeah.
The goalie fell forward and Clayton was just like, bloop, right?
Yeah.
Or was that Hayton's goal? Either way, there was one that just looked so easy. Yeah. And it's because they were in the right spot. The movement of the puck last night or in the game was just, it was so good. Now, someone that you don't see a lot on the stat line, he had 1 assist. No shots on goal. But there was a presence about this guy. Who do you think I'm talking about? The guy that pumped the crowd up. The guy that had Clayton's back when he went.
Jersey.
It was Jersey, dude. And guess who was the one who stayed on the ice to hit everybody's hand at the end of the game and was the last one off the ice? Jersey. Dude, Jersey may be becoming my new favorite. The way that he played.
Just one game, Jersey. That's all it took.
Dude, that's all it took, man. And you know what? It's because you had your captain's back. It's because you were a leader out there, even though you weren't wearing a C or an A, right? And boy, you showed some heart and some passion out there on the ice, and I recognized it. Being live in that moment, I was like, dude, Dursey is the guy. Dursey is one of the top dogs on this team.
Yeah.
Whether he's scoring the points, he showed that he wanted to be here for the Utah Hockey Club, and he's ready to play for this franchise, which is dope.
Yeah. Last comment, just because I know we're running long, so I'm going to cut out a few things, but I just want to make this comment. Spicy tuna.
Dude, that guy and his flow just gets me.
The crowd loves him. Tell us,
the crowd loves him.
Yeah. I mean, he's the only player on the entire roster that gets a chant.
It's true. And here's the thing. Other players on the Utah Hockey Club team were hitting players into the board.
Yeah.
Like there
were other hits besides Spicy Tuna's hits.
Like Lawson Krause had a really good hit into the board one of the times, and the fans were silent.
Well, I mean, it was like, yeah.
No, it wasn't though. It was like, like.
But comparatively, when
but as soon as Spicy Tuna does it, the whole place just erupts.
And he just won everyone's hearts the very first day in Utah when he said,
"It was.
You can call me Spicy Tuna.
They call me Spicy
I
Tuna.
Can't wait
to get this place buzzing. Let's go!" Yep. That right there caused every single fan to say Spicy Tuna is someone I'm going to cheer for. So
it was great to watch him. And honestly, he's not the biggest playmaker.
He's not, but he's a big dude.
Plays
center.
And you need a hitter.
You need a hitter and a guy that just wants to bring some energy and some fire to it. And with his red beard coming from the pits of Nova Scotia.
Oh, it's like, where are we going?
The deepest, darkest caves of Nova Scotia. I lived there for a time. Yeah, dude, of course. Great place. Loved Halifax, and that's his hometown. So I lived there for a good year almost. So,
anyways, we're running long, so we'll cap it there. But the game was just incredible. A lot of things that we're gonna be going throughout the season. Obviously, we aren't going to do an analyzation nor deep analyzations on every game. That's not what we're here for. Just high level things to be looking out for, just so you get to know the team and the players from a high level as you follow along this incredible, most amazing sport. And we posted this on, I think it was on Facebook. I don't remember the context of it. But why is hockey the hardest but yet most athletic and greatest sport of all time? Go check it out.
It is a good video. And man, ever since starting playing hockey, and again, it's only been a few years that Denz and I have been playing, it's the hardest sport I've ever played.
It is.
But it's the most fun I've ever played. And I played football. I love football.
Yeah.
And I still love football. But there is a whole other element when you throw ice skates on and play on ice. It is insane. And the fact it's full contact, dude, it's
beyond full contact.
Dude, if any of you have ever went to free skate.
You can't drop your gloves in any other.
No.
Well, I mean, UFC. But like.
Well, but that is designed fighting.
That's true.
That's structured fighting.
Right.
Hit me. They're saying hit me.
This is straight up. Hey, we're playing a different sport, and we get so mad at each other that we're gonna break out in a fight, and the refs just get to sit and watch.
Yes. Until one falls on the ice, then they break it up.
Anyways, so incredible inaugural game last night. I'm glad we won, but win or lose, the environment, the experience, the excitement, it would have been electric regardless. The whole graphic on the ice in the beginning was pretty cool. But honestly, it exceeded expectations for like the first one they've ever done. I hope it does improve. There are some other teams that do some crazy things with the graphics on the ice. In fact, the Seattle Kraken, in their not their inaugural game, their first home opener yesterday. They have a really cool home opener thing that was playing on the ice, and I was just like, not comparing. Utah Hockey Clubs was
we'll
cool.
get there.
We'll get there, but like theirs, I was just like, I can't wait because it's just gonna get better, and theirs was super cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, last segment, really quick. Let's do it.
Rapid fire roundup.
Rapid fire roundup.
Oh,
He's never gonna let that down.
no, dude. Well, it's the segment. I told you to announce it, and you said it that way. So
He's sick. That was on you.
that was on you.
So-
I told you to do it.
Let's dive in. So real quick, got a few games over the next week, all away games. Right?
Yep,
We
yep.
had the home opener, but we're on the road. We're gonna see how our team performs. So real quick, tomorrow night, October 10th, New York Islanders.
Win,
Ooh,
dude. I know.
they're a pretty good team. So, next up, October 12th, Rangers, New York Rangers.
Loss.
What?
Yeah.
You mean one of the best teams in the NHL? No. That'd be such a good upset, though.
That would be a great upset.
Yeah.
But
I
the
mean-
way they played last year, I can't imagine that they're not gonna.
And 4 years.
You're right. But what I'm saying is, we will lose probably.
But it's kind of one of those moments where, like, when Vegas was going after the cup,
Yeah.
and it's not last year, the year before. So we're watching everything. Do you remember? Like, it was the Coyotes, or was it the Ducks
Against Vegas?
I think we were like middle of season. Anyways, they were second to last ranked team at like.
Ducks.
It was probably the Ducks.
I think it was the Ducks.
Anyways, and we lost.
Yeah, it was like
to them
5-0, I think, or like 5-1. It was like,
I don't remember what
how
it was, but it was
how in
just
the
like,
world did you
what?
lose to them?
So
Yeah,
you know,
it could happen.
I hope
I hope that
they
I'm
prove
wrong.
you wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Imagine them beating the Rangers. That'd be cool.
Can you imagine?
I can't actually.
Yeah, me neither.
But-
Yeah, it's a loss. Sorry.
Okay, October 14th, New Jersey Devils.
Win.
All right.
I don't know. Like, I just want to say win every time. Unless it's like, sure. Win. Yeah, exactly.
Win. Wait, so real quick, we are running so long on this, but
So long.
in Mighty Ducks, the first one. So when you first gather the teams and you have the Hawks, they're doing their whole like win
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
cheer, and like they don't have any of their gear yet, right? Remember this scene? And Gordon Bombay's over there, he's like, all right guys, win, and they're all like out of sync, win, and then he's like, yeah, give up.
Yeah.
That's what I just thought.
Classic Gordon Bombay.
All right, last one, Anaheim Ducks.
Win.
They were the ones that beat us
In the preseason.
preseason.
But come on.
preseason. Doesn't count.
Nope.
All right, so we got sorry, what'd
It
you
was
say?
a win-win, loss, win-win.
Win against the Rangers?
No.
Win
Win-win, loss. It was win against the Islanders.
Rangers is next, which is a loss.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Win, loss, win-win.
All right, so they're winning against the Islanders, losing against the Rangers, winning against the Devils. That's
Yeah.
spicy.
Dude, spicy tuna.
And then winning against Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
All right.
Which would put the team at 5-1. 4-1.
That'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
But could you imagine the Utah Hockey Club logo sitting at the top of the rankings?
Dude, we're already there. No.
Guys, we are. We're number one in the Western right now.
That's right. Well, after the Avalanche. No. The Avalanche got beat hard by the Knights, or was it the
They were
vice versa?
crushed by the Knights.
Then
8-4
we are on top for now.
for one game in.
Dude, why not?
Take a picture of that now.
Yeah, snapshot it, put it on
Number
our side.
one. Anyways. Alrighty. Well, that is a wrap
Man, what an episode.
on a long episode.
Woo!
We even eliminated off the post.
Can you imagine if we would have done off the post? You guys would have been like, get out of here.
I'm surprised. If you, I'm curious. Please show us some love. If you made it to the end of this, just comment saying made it to the end. I'm just curious because statistically, most people watch the first
5-10 minutes.
Well, I mean,
if it's the first 5-10 minutes, then we've wasted a lot of time. No.
Anyways, I'm just curious, who is still here after this long, over an hour long episode of the UTalk Hockey Podcast? That's it for tonight.
See you later.